Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Maddie's Rap, the show where we rap about things that guys rap about when we're hanging out. Now, I'm going to move this mic a little bit closer. As you guys remember, when I started Maddie's Rap back in I'm kidding.
Right.
Back in 2019, the goal was to talk about things that guys talk about when we're hanging out. So what I'm going to be doing today, and by the way, I got a special guest in the studio today, as you can see, none other than the music man himself, Mr. Myron Walker. You guys follow him on Instagram at
MusicMan8293.
And tell them about your YouTube channel.
Myron Walker on YouTube, just getting started, so talking about some controversial topics.
Okay, all right. So now, without further ado, these are going to be 12-minute videos. The goal is 12 minutes. We're going to talk 10 minutes. We're going to do a 1-minute intro, a 1-minute outro, and this is going to be rapid fire. So we're going to try to talk about as many subjects as we can talk about and do halfway justice to in about 10 minutes. So let's go, Myron. What do you want to talk about today, Myron?
I'm open to anything.
You know what? Let's since today is Easter Sunday,
okay.
Let's start with Easter. Myron, do you have any thoughts on Easter?
Oh man, not much, honestly. I was raised in the church, and I was, groomed in a way to celebrate Easter, and I know for me, like in my home church, for example, they would do like the Easter parade and have kids dressed up in the Easter speeches. I hated all of it. I hated all of it from when I was a kid. It was very awkward, parading down the middle aisle of the church and then doing these Easter speeches. It really bothered me. To think about it as cringeworthy.
Did y'all do Easter egg hunts in church?
We did the Easter egg hunts. I mean, that was fun, as a kid.
Yeah.
The Easter bunny when I was really small, but yeah. No,
so what are your thoughts today on Easter now, as an adult?
Yeah, I mean, it's different than where I was last year or 2 years ago. I made sure I was, at church. Of course, that was a big Sunday being a musician. And, I remember like one year I played like 5 masses one time, $200 a piece, $1,000 one Sunday. It was great. But
I need to be playing mass.
Right. So, but yeah, like now I'm just like, yeah,
all right. Well,
different place with it.
Well, it's not fair for me to ask you that without answering it myself. I grew up in a church just like you did, Myron. I'm not I used to celebrate Easter or Resurrection Sunday, as some people call it. But you start these traditions and you do them over and over again, and then you get older, and then this information comes to you, and you start to learn about the paganism of it.
Exactly.
So, but I'm not going to get into it because you know what? Actually, there's a lady I follow on Instagram named Erica Lashai, and she did a IGTV live thing or whatever you want to call it, and she brought up some very good points. She said, you know what? Don't be so woke that you can't show your family love.
Exactly.
And I agree with that. And I'm that person too. I'm like, okay, just because I don't celebrate Easter anymore, it doesn't mean that I block somebody off and they say, "Oh, happy Easter." I say thank you. I say thank you, and I'll if there are people I'm close to, I'll tell them, "Hey, look, I don't celebrate Easter anymore."
I'm not there yet, but I see it coming very soon. Like
okay.
For example, like Christmas. I mean, of course, that's a totally different holiday.
Yeah.
But, it's ever evolving. Like I don't do Christmas like that, especially the Americanized, whitewashed Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Thanksgiving is the same way. I mean, when you learn the origins of Thanksgiving, then you realize that
Valentine's Day, Mardi Gras, all these different
all
holidays.
of that. When you dig into the history, then you're like, okay, why am I doing this? So, but
Yeah.
if you're not there yet, you're not there yet. I'm certainly not one to judge.
I'm on the journey though.
Right? Because I was there myself. Now, all right, Myron, I threw 1 and 2. What do you want to hit me with, man?
My gut, actually, before you said Easter, was Jesus.
Oh, so you want to ask me my thoughts on Jesus?
Absolutely, let's go for it.
Woo, man! That's a tight one, man. We should call this the hot seat, the Budweiser hot seat, but I don't drink Budweiser. But anyway, you know what, man? Let me tell you something. So there's a lot to unpack there. The idea of who this entity was, I know now as an adult that his name was not Jesus. I've learned recently that the letter J is only about 4. It's been written in spoken language only about 400 years.
Correct.
So it leads you to ask the question, what was his name before that? I know that Jesus is a derivative of Eosus, which was the Greek name, and none of that was Hebrew. I mean, now there's a bunch of different names thrown around out there for Hebrew. Some say, the ones I don't subscribe to, like Yeshua and Yehoshua, I don't subscribe to those. The two that kind of stick out the most to me, and certainly I don't speak biblical Hebrew. I don't know anybody who does. When I say biblical, I'm not talking about the presentation of it that is taught in some of these seminaries and some of these Judeo or Judeo-Christian seminaries or whatever, school theological studies. But the two I hear that resonate the most with me are Yahushua and Yashia. So
okay.
I think what's important to remember there, and I'm trying to learn a little bit of ancient / paleo Hebrew myself, trying to learn, the alphabet or alphabet or whatever you want to call it. What I understand is that the Yah and the Shah are germane to both of those. So when you, and I'm not going to get into trying to do a pictographic Hebrew lesson here, but the thing with Hebrew is that each one of those characters has a meaning. And when you look at them and you look at them drawn out and you understand what each one of those characters symbolize, then you see the powerful meaning in all of the Paleo Hebrew words. Mm-hmm. Now, I think a lot of that's been lost now with this modern Aramaic script. But anyway, my thoughts on Jesus. Too much to unpack there, bro.
Yeah,
we'd have to need a whole video for that.
Yeah.
The presentation of the man has been Europeanized. I mean, we know that the original Hebrews, the Israelites, look like you and me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
They had the hair like mine and yours. My hair needs to be redone. Michelle, if you're watching this, I got to come see you. So, but yeah, man. So it's too much to unpack there. Do I believe in Yahshua? Do I believe in the Son of the Most High? Yes, I do. Do I believe he walked the earth? Do I believe he was a teacher? Do I believe he's the Messiah? Yes. Do I believe in the current presentation of him with the European features? No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's completely false.
No.
Completely
So,
false. Yeah.
Martin, I'm about to hit you with a hard one, man. And you know what? We got about 4 minutes left. So you,
all right,
you might be. This might be the last little subtopic.
Okay.
What's trending right now, Myron, is this whole dichotomy or juxtaposition, if you will, of monogamy versus polygyny. Some say polygamy, but I'm not. No, I don't.
Okay.
Polygamy is man having multiple wives or women having multiple husbands. I'm buying to that. Polygyny.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? Because I got some. But go ahead.
Different strokes for different folks. Whatever works for you in your household is what works for you in your household. We've obviously lived in this society where monogamy is the thing to do. Mm-hmm. I subscribe to something a little bit different, So, I'm not there yet, but I am mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically preparing myself to go down the path of polygyny.
Why?
Women, that's why. I'm just kidding. Man, I'm trying to kingdom build. I'm trying to build an empire. I'm trying to leave a big legacy.
Right.
Now,
Mark, you're not married right now.
I'm not married right now.
He's not married, ladies.
I have no children.
He's not married. No kids.
I have no biological children.
No biological.
Like that. I have godchildren. And I have other young people that look up to me that I take on as adopted sons and daughters. Mm-hmm. But even now, like, I'm not romantically involved with any of their mothers, but my legacy is living through them. Mm-hmm. They're just not biologically. So I'm all about kingdom building. So yeah, that's the short and simple answer. But yeah, I'm gonna be unpacking that too.
We got 3 minutes left, Myron. I'm going to be dealing with that too because that is a trending topic. Now, interestingly enough, if you want to talk about contrast, folks watching this video, by the way, if you haven't done so already, hit the like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell so that you can be updated when we upload a new video or whatever. But and if you're watching this on Myron's channel, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. All right, same thing. This is going to be aired on 2 different channels, mine and his. But I don't want people to think I'm stalling and trying to dodge the question with like 2 minutes left. So let me get on it. I'm married. I'm married. I've talked about this. I've scratched the surface of it on my social media, Facebook, whatever. And one question that comes is, what does your wife think about this? And I think people always want to look to stir the pot a little bit. But let me say something to your point, Myron. I feel like forced monogamy. First of all, I'm not anti-monogamy. If you have one person that you want to settle down with for the rest of your life, do what works for you. Now, people might say, well, how are you guys talking about this? And you're in a society where polygamy is illegal, or polygyny, or any poly type of situation is illegal. I'm going to be doing a separate video on labels because I think labels cause damage. Labels can make things that are good seem bad, and labels can also make things that are bad seem legit.
Good, yeah.
So I don't like labels. Now, you can't get away from labels 100%, but I think the way labels are used in this society, they're used to the advantage of people or to promote an agenda, whatever. But I have to say, to your point, and then we got to get ready to wrap it up, that I understand in my mind, or just in looking at history. First of all, you sent that video, and I'll probably cut it into this one and show it. But you sent me a TikTok video about a week ago where a guy was explaining how monogamy was something that the Catholic Church instituted, and it had to do with money. Okay.
It's time for a history lesson on marriage. In the 13th century, the Catholic Church recognized marriage and made it a sacrament. By the 16th century, the Catholic Church had instituted monogamous marriage because if a rich man died with many wives, the church got less. Marriage was then about an alliance between family for economic reasons, and it wasn't until the 18th century that marriage actually became about love. Marriage law today follows property guidelines. When a man gives a woman an engagement ring, that is in exchange for the compensation of her time leading up to the wedding. If she breaks the engagement, she's to give that down payment in the form of a ring back to the man. If he breaks it, she keeps it as compensation for her valuable reproductive years. Traditionally, the bride's family pays for the wedding as the last great expense before they are alleviated of the financial burden of having another woman in the family. This is also why dowries were given. After the ceremony, the wife takes the man's name as a form of titling to show his ownership. She is now his property, and so are the children.
Originally speaking, marriage was about kingdom building, like you just mentioned. Hey,
Absolutely.
you know what? You want to join two families together, a tribe together? This man marries this daughter, whatever. Now, with regards to men having multiple wives, the biggest thing that's frowned upon it for, in my opinion, is people look at it from a sex standpoint.
And that's not what it is.
No,
that's not what it is at all. Yeah.
Because you can't do that all day long anyway.
Absolutely.
So my thing is, who's another man to tell another man how many wives he can have if those women are in agreement with it, and if that man wants it?
There you go.
So I'm going to be doing a separate video on that. But guess what, folks? We got about 1 minute and 32 seconds left. So we got 32 seconds left before we get ready to start folding this out. So Myron, what are your final thoughts? Do you want to give people a sneak preview of what you might be talking about in about 20 seconds?
I'm going to be talking about concubines. I'm going to be talking about just breaking down my personal opinion of the structure of polygyny, polygamous relationships, just the whole thing. I'm going to be giving biblical examples. I'm going to touch on David really quickly. That's basically just going to be about it.
Well, Myron, we got less than a minute left, so we're going to get ready to wrap this up. Listen, this has been an episode of a rapid fire episode of Maddie's Rap. The show we rap about things that guys rap about, and these are the things that we talk about when we're hanging out. If we're eating lunch or something, or we're hanging out getting dinner, and or people watching. Me and my boys like to go out and eat, and people watch. We do that. You pick up on some interesting things when you're hanging out. But so these are things that we like to talk about. These are things we talk about in the barbershop. So we're gonna be doing some more of these. But listen, the last thing I'll say here, we got about 20 seconds left, Myron, is that in 2020 was all scripture edition, mostly scripture edition, Maddie's Rap. 2021, I'm still going to do the scripture editions, but Maddie's Rap now is going to be focused on fixing what I feel like has damaged the so-called black community in America.
Absolutely.
Myron, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, you've been watching another episode of Maddie's Rap.
All right,
guys. For Matt Talbot and Myron Walker, this is a wrap. Peace.
Peace.
Right on time. How about that?